Hello and welcome to an overview of the ESM 50cc Spitfire conversion to electric. We've got a few other electric models converted there. The JR Airsail Chipmunk, it's 40 size, converted to electric. The other ESM Texan II, 30cc size, converted to electric. So the Airsail Chipmunk, lovely flying airplane, converted using the Hyperion motor and speed controller, details you'll find below. And the ESM Texan II, converted using the Axi F3A motor and Castle Creations 160 HP lite speed controller. But this is the one that everyone's been asking after. It's the ESM 50cc Spitfire, 89-inch wingspan and converted to electric. But first up, we'll have a look at what we've added to the model, beginning with the Thai cockpit, available from VQ Warbirds. It's a great little cockpit, fit together well. A little bit of hassle with the gunsight and the front of the cockpit, but we can discuss that later. We use the standard kit supplied pull systems for both rudder and elevator. In addition, we also purchased from mikeskittle at hotmail.com the following canons, aerial, rear view mirror, exhaust stabs. He also had the wheel hubs as well. We've also replaced the air operated system with the Lado Electric Retract system. I think that works a lot better, not neater, a lot tidier, all fits in, easy to power up, and works at about the same rate, I think, the full size. Last but not least is the spinner, a 4 3/4 inch from Hobby King, the carbon version. A couple of those, one to be cut up for the 4-blade static and one for the 2-blade that you'll be using to fly with. Right, so now we'll get my assistant to quickly remove the top part of the cowl. This is cut along the seam lines that the full-size cowl is. And once he's removed that, we can then get into the meat and veg that you've all been waiting for. Right, so we've utilised a supplied motor mount tube, originally for a Turnigy 80-80A electric motor, but now with standoffs for the Axi 5345 electric motor. And located right at the front of the fuse, between the motor mount tube supports, you'll see the battery box. This is just tightly wedged in there. And then behind that again, you've got the receiver on-off and undercart on-off power switches for the batteries. So I'll just get the assistant again to remove the battery box. You'll see how tightly this is actually wedged in. There was a lot of fitting, testing, recutting, retrimming, testing, fitting. It was on and off. It took basically 2 or 3 days. But we've got a nice tight fit, and the Velcro straps go right round there to help removal. So with the battery box removed, you can see quite clearly inside the motor mount tube. We've got the receiver battery and the Lado undercart battery there, cable tied in, and then easy access there to the front bolts holding the motor on too. So now with the cowl completely removed, you can actually see the layout we've got there with the motor, speed controller, and the wiring. So the motor is the Axi 5345. It's a 14 wind, a lot lighter, 1 kilo as opposed to the other motors that we're using. Speed controller is the Castle Creations 160 HV, and the 1 ohm resistors for spark control. There's a couple of 2.4s in parallel there, so that's 1 ohm, I think 1.2. This is confirming Castle Creations email that they require about a 1 ohm resistance there. So this is the lower part of the cowl with the homemade air intake that revolves right back around onto the speed controller just in front of that motor mount tube. So you can see the inside of it there, and that's bringing the air directly back onto it there. And these are the batteries that the battery box is designed around, which are the Hobby King Zippy 8000 milliamp success, so two of those in series, giving us 12S, about 50 odd volts fully charged. Right, so we get the assistant to quickly put on the lower half of the cowl, insert the battery box, and then we'll show you how we mount the batteries vertically and the wiring that goes with that. So the male to male is then used to connect both batteries together. That's inserted underneath the Velcro. Strap down the Velcro. Negative is then plugged in, and then we've finally got the ohm resistors short lead off the positive there to connect, and let the Castle Creations count down the 12 cells, and that usually is about the right amount of time before you connect up the main positive leads.